we'll see how they're going to deal with it in game number 1. But first, guys, we are going to take a quick word from our sponsors over at EGB, so check it out. So, welcome back as we get ourselves into the first game of the second series, and it is going to be your GPK going mid on that Lash. So, how does the Storm Spirit play around this? Because, I mean, in the early, we've seen already in that last series, you know, the Storm Spirit being shut down by some good rotations. So, what does Meljoul have to do in this lane up against the Lash to get the advantage coming into this mid lane matchup?
He's not gonna get a big advantage, but I just hope that the Storm will focus a little bit more on farming rather than rotating. It would be a mistake in this game if you would go for early rotations, even if it would mean you kill a Morphling, if you kill a Morphling and get a tower, sure, but if it's just for a kill or something along those lines, then no. So I'm expecting Meljoul to put more points in the static remnant, make sure that maybe he has some stacks, and with that get super strong, because you need the Storm to be strong from like minute 10-12 to be able to go in the backlines and kill the supports, because if you don't have the mana to go into the backlines, you're not killing the Abaddon, you're going to be very weak on the Storm. So you need to make sure that you do not overextend in this game as Meljoul.
Okay, and what are you expecting as well? Because you're talking about Nightfall. What are you expecting here for the Abandon? Is it still going to be the Radiance build even in the offlane, or do you expect Nightfall to go for something that's going to offer a little bit more protection and not be as aggressive here for Beppu?
Well, we're seeing that he already wants to build into a Meteor Hammer, so it's more about being able to push down towers. And considering that you do have a Shadow Demon, there's no reason not to. So early on, these two are going to be a big problem.
Okay. Well, Maladi's going to be coming right up against it here now as well. Like you said, the Disruption comes out for the Interrupt, and Maladi's going to be caught by the Split Earth there as well, level 1. So not the biggest area of effect, but it does still catch on to Maladi, so he's going to be taking some punishment from this as the runes just start to be split. But yeah, some early aggression, you know, you maybe force out some regen from the Ogre as a GPK. You can already see him getting the body blocks onto those creeps, so trying to get whatever he can. But the Storm Spirit on the other side, looking at the map, you can see him just wiggling about, looking for the blocks of his own. So let's see who's going to get the... Actually, it looks like it's going to be GPK. Yeah, it's going to be closer to just on that high ground here. So Meljoul having to come in a little bit closer to get the harass out. And GPK looking for it. And yeah, the remnants as well. Not going to be as effective onto GPK because you can just stand at range and right click.
Yeah, I mean, Storm is gonna be taking a little bit more harassment, but overall, it's gonna be nothing big here. In the bottom lane, I really want to see how well Malady can do. One thing we didn't talk about is the Abaddon's ability to remove the ignite. So it does take away a lot of the Ogre Magi's potency in the laning phase, especially because you want to get 2 points in ignite on level 3. Well, against an Abaddon, you might want to skip on that. Yeah,
and do you, as the Abaddon, because, I mean, we've seen the carry builds, it comes out, you completely ignore the Mist Coil, you know, you just go for the Aphotic Shield, the Curse of Avernus, and if you are building towards that Meteor Hammer, do you just completely ignore the Mist Coil?
Considering you're up against the Weaver, you're gonna have the mana, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 1 point, right? At some point in this game, Nightfall is just gonna be using the Aphotic Shield and the Mist Coil constantly, so I wouldn't be surprised if in this game in general, he does get a couple of points in it, even early on.
Okay, and you saw the odds on the screen there as well from EGB, so they are favoring Betboom. I don't think there's any major surprises there. I don't think anyone, even though Navi, they have the potential to compete and contest, you know, everyone coming into this would have said Betboom, looking at like the favorites. And starting off, especially with the Morphlin pick as well, Pure, you know, really comfortable on this hero as well, going towards that Falcon's Blade. What do you expect the build up for the Morphlin to be? Do you want to go for, after the Falcon's Blade, are you going for that Manta, or are you going straight in for an Ags? Is it, you know, do you want to get fighting early? What is it that Pure might build towards here on the Morphlin?
I think Manta Ags does make a lot of sense as a morph.
Yeah.
But overall, you might want to skip it because you have the Aphotic Shield to save you. I'm not sure. The Aghanims is going to come into play at some point in this game. It's just way too good to not go for.
But bottom lane, they do get the kill onto Malady, so that's going to be the first blood going the way of save here. And we'll see if they want to get aggressive. Toronto Tokyo stepping up against the Beastmaster. So is he going to go for anything? He's looking for the backstab. Maybe he's going to try and drop. Tombstone comes out now as well. Pure, though, he's not got a lot of life left. If he wants to step up onto this, Danielle, telekinesis now as well, the lift up, but he doesn't get a stun. Will be able to take that Tombstone down. Pure taking out a lot of damage as well from the axes as well as the fade ball. So has to back himself away there. Just looking for the heal with that Tango. And yeah, couldn't really step up once that fade ball does come out because it takes away a lot of his damage in this early part of the map.
And usually you don't see the Ogre Magi dying because this hero is pretty much unkillable, but with Shadow Poison, with the slows, and with him just feeling, you know, like you can't do much in the lane, you tend to overextend. And even a guy like Malady, who is probably the best ranked support even in the world, he was top 1 at some point in Europe. You tend to make mistakes, you know, just because you feel like you can't do enough, then you try to be a bit more aggressive than you can, and you get punished for it.
Yeah, and like you say, a lot of teams, you know, maybe forgetting just how powerful the Shadow Poison is coming through from that Shadow Demon. So 2 points into that now as well. With the setup on the Disruption, it is really easy to build those stacks. And you can see that, yeah, Malady maybe just forgetting the power of the Shadow Demon coming into this game.
Shadow Demon was played from time to time, so he should know. He should know that it can be a problem. We'll see if it does continue. We can see that he's playing a bit more conservatively, and to be honest, Shigetsu is farming well, so it's not like you feel like the lane is going terribly for you. You're doing well.
Yeah, you are doing all right here. We take a look at the top lane as well. How's Pure doing in terms of last? It's 15, so a little bit behind the Beastmaster, but we know that the Morphlins, the timing comes a little bit later for this hero. So even if he does get put a bit behind in the early game, if he goes a bit behind in the early game, he's still going to have that power spike into the mid to late game, and it is going to be up to Navi to shut it down, which I can see why they wanted to attack fast bottom lane. Once again, the chase down Nightfall, taking a lot of damage here now as well. Can they turn it around? Because there's going to be the silence as well. Shadow Poison stacking up 4 points on that Shadow Poison here, or 4 stacks, excuse me, and Save will be able to get another kill as the Aphotic Shield comes out here for Save. So Save from a lot of damage here, and she's going to be chased down now as well. One more Shadow Poison. If they get the vision, it might be enough, and Shigetsu just has to go away with a Shikuchi and look for that safety. I mean, the Shadow Poison, even 2 stacks at level 2, still be a decent amount of damage, but Weaver with that regen and probably more being brought in here by the Ogre.
And Malik is in trouble on the top lane, so the pressure from Bed Boom, it never stops, and this is what they like to do. They like to apply early pressure just with the sheer skill. They're like, we are better than you, and that's how they approach the laning stage, and it's showing here. I mean, on the network chart, they really are doing well in all of the lanes.
Yeah, all 3 cores at the minute bouncing around that top part of the net worth. You know, you see the Storm Spirit as well as that Weaver jumping back and forth above the Abaddon every so often. But yeah, like you say, Pure at the minute, he's just running this, you know, top lane. We saw that there was some aggression coming out, but it seems like he's got that confidence that he knows just how far he can push the bounds of the Morphlin in this lane.
This is where the Undying kicks in. We talked about it in the previous game. If you want to pick a Morphlin with the... Oh, that's a solo kill.
Mid lane, yeah, it was. He even got the Vortex onto the Lash, and he was trying to walk himself away there, Melajul, and there was a TP in from Danielle, but this just means that there's going to be some gaps opening up now. Malady, he might be the next one to fall on the side of Navi. Navi not having a great time in the minute in the laning stage, and Malady being forced back, chased down, killed off, and saved. Well, the true carry of the game at the minute. Is it 3-0 and 0, I think, on the Shadow Demon? So having a really good time and going to be able to get towards those quick mana boots with the kills that he is starting to stack up.
JPK also died in the mid lane to the Rubik, and after he got the kill, and to be honest, mid laners love this. They're like, the thing that I would like to happen now is for me to get a kill, and then a position 4 comes and kills me, and that's exactly what happened. He's trying to apply pressure on Melajul even more now, though. We'll see. If one creep dies, that should be level 6 for the Storm.
Yeah, but I suppose even if they don't get the kill onto the Storm, again on Melajul, Destruction comes out now as well. GPK was that setup. They're going to be able to get it onto both the Rubik as well as the Storm Spirit now, but the Storm Spirit level 6. So looking for the kill onto Save. Save can get himself away from this one. The Vortex drag back now as well. Melajul, he will get the kill, but it looks like GPK coming in for the chase on. Really good ball line, and just the quick one, and now GPK, he's gone a little bit too far. He's overcommitted, and they should be able to get the kill on GPK once again. Even though he's got a little bit of sustain, Meljul will get the kill. A nice double for him there in the mid lane. But it does drag both supports off the side lanes onto this mid lane, opening up the gap for BetBoom just a little bit.
Overconfidence from BetBoom. We saw it in the previous series, though. The ones being overconfident, though, he did win in the end anyways. But you can see that BetBoom are immediately trying to do something on other lanes because they know that they forced so many rotations here. So overall, yeah, they bring the Storm back in the game, but they're applying pressure on both the bottom and the top lane.
Yeah, and Pure's going to be happy with Shigetsu on the bottom lane. Save, he's just again 4-1-0. He's having an absolute riot at the minute, and I think that's the gold for the mana boot. So 20 gold off. Yeah, so really nice. And you can see, yeah, the poison just stacking up and stacking up and stacking up from Save. So Save having a really good time in this early game, and you know, no reason with the Shadow Demon's effectiveness that he can't keep it going here. Just more points into the Shadow Poison, the rotations coming through, and he can stack up these kills.
Yeah, his damage has become insane. It's always a problem when you get a couple of stacks, but when you have 3 points in Shadow Poison, when you feel like the game is going well for you and you can get away with that kind of a build, well, we see what's happening. It's just so much damage being done to Navi wherever they are, and you feel like I'm still half HP, but with 4 stacks on you, yeah, you're just gonna die.
Yeah, look at what Nightfall's got queued up. You know, maybe change his mind a little bit. I'm telling you, man, that meteor hammer, it is a trap.
Oh no!
Like,
it's a trap for your enemies, right? He has a setup for it. I would hate it. I would not hate it.
I see it working in pub games because obviously pub games are a little bit different, but every pro game I'm watching the meteor hammer. You know, the win rate, it's not what you're expecting. It's like that channel tag. You spend 2 seconds channel, it's 2 seconds later on of a BKB. It's 2 seconds if you don't have the BKB where you can be caught out and stunned up. To me, unless you have like a really clear opening in the fights, you know, you get a pick off before the 5v5s kick off. To me, I'm looking at this meteor hammer, I'm going, it's just a trap. It's a bit of a bait, and I think teams are starting to, you know, wake up that it's not the be all end all of this patch.
I know, Rob, how when you start hating on an item or a hero, you're very stubborn on it. So I'm just gonna back you up on that one. Yeah, the meteor hammer, it just sucks. No one should buy it, and I think that's where we're gonna stop. Because I mean, there obviously are games where it can work, but I guess buying it on Abaddon, you probably don't want it. But we do have a rotation. GPK is coming towards the bottom lane. He's in Invis, so Navi, they are gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Shout now as well. The banishment from the disruption is going to come out into the split turf, even with the time lapse, not the borrowed time. Nightfall has that borrowed time, but GPK gets the kill. Shigetsu just could not get himself away from that. A really nice setup there from the side of BetBoom to just get the jump on Shigetsu. And like you say, even being confident on this hero, you know, Shigetsu, it's one of his best heroes, one of his signature heroes. Oh, he's going to jump out to Toronto and Tokyo. Tokyo will go down, but he denies the Arcane Rune from the side of the Radiant. But yeah, Shigetsu, they get the kill onto Malady as well. BetBoom, they have just started off on top. I was talking about Navi getting aggressive here, but BetBoom, they're the ones taking the game to Navi.
Even with those old extensions in the mid lane, the side lanes were still doing well. So with the first rotation to the side lane, it's always going to be successful. But this is just even better than that. You get 2 kills in the tower, and if the Shadow Demon can defend this one in the mid lane, which seems like it's going to be the case, it's overall perfect for BetBoom.
Yeah, and we'll see what Navi can do to back up, because there's going to be jumping onto Save. Save might be punished here. He's going to be caught out telekinesis, and they do get to kill Malady though. I want to pick that one up and not Meljul, but I suppose at the minute, as long as you're getting those kills on the board, you know, it doesn't matter who's picking it up, and it means you are going to be able to apply this pressure to the tier 1 tower as well. Probably does go down. Not seeing any rotations, anything from the side of BetBoom that signals that you want to defend this tier 1 tower.
This is very big because we talked about Navi and how they want to approach fights its chaos, and mid lane tower makes the most chaos in the map. So I think they're going to be happy with this one and can go for multiple kills now on the supports, on the cores, whatever. Because from a mid lane, it's very easy to pick where you're going to go for a kill. And if you're fast, and with the Storm Spirit you're always going to be, you can just do it before the enemies can respond.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is going on. Like you say, they've kind of dragged heroes from Boom towards the middle of the map. You know, they are protecting, looking for objectives and trying to protect onto the Morphin. So this will open up the lane, as we see on the screen here, for the Beastmaster, just to push out. Another fortification going to be used here, but that will be the tier 1 tower fortification down, as the Beastmaster not even needed to sit in the lane. He is just moving himself towards those camps, looking to get Bam up with the axes there as well. And he's going to be able to take this tier 1 towers. So Boom, they started off great, but Navi, they aren't without the impact and objectives coming into this. Speaking about impact and objective, thrown into Tokyo, Daniel gets a steal onto the tombstone, so they do have to take this one down before the zombies start to stack up on both sides, and it just means that the side of Navi can back themselves away, because Boom had an objective there they needed to deal with.
125 gold, that's nice. They go for the storm, should not be a kill. They're not even gonna attempt on the splitter.
No, you can see that Marty was coming in, so if he got the interrupt, he got the stun off, potentially with 3 heroes in this mid lane, it would be that Navi, you know, could have maybe got a kill off if GPK overextended. So yeah, just backs himself away. He was mid animation, cancelled it off, and just walked himself out here, as Malik just continues with the Hawks as well, being able to find the vision onto the Morphling, maybe set up for a rotation from Meljul as well as Daniel to find a kill onto this Morph.
Right now, Navi needs speed, right? This is the time where you need to go for kills. That Witchblade on the Storm Spirit needs to be like go, go, go time. Because there's going to be a Radiance on the Abaddon. There's going to be a Linken's on the Morphling. There is going to be a Bloodstone on the Lesh. When those 3 items come out, I don't know how you're going to get kills. Boom are going to go from tower to tower and just force you into fights. And you're going to be in so much trouble. So you need to make sure that there's chaos around the map, that Boom cannot get together. And they are working towards their big items. So they will soon have the tools to do just that.
Yeah, and you can see here Abaddon's, he's picked up the Sacred Relic, and I love the Lance of Pursuit that onto the Abaddon, because obviously you've got that chase down potential anyway. And I was talking about it last tour, you know, when it was first as an item shown out there. I like it on the Rickies, I like it on the Abaddons, on these heroes that do want to chase it down, and they have their own mechanics built in as well, that you are going to be showing your back to them, you know, trying to either run yourself away, or the Ricky being able to jump behind. The extra mana is great for the Aphotic Shields, and just being able to get that chase down potential. This item, okay, it doesn't have the stats that some of the neutral items have, but I still really like this item on the chase down heroes like the Abaddon.
I mean, you don't really need stats on the Abaddon because you're surviving for so long anyway. It's all about the burrow time, not about your HP.
On the top, there's going to be a fight in the river now as well. Destruction comes out, but Meljul, what can he do here? It looks like they might be able to get the jump. Did he get the kill onto GPK? GPK going to be healed up by the sword. He keeps him alive for a little bit longer. It will still be 2 kills. Save does get the kill to Shigetsu though. Raw onto Save with the Aphotic Shield coming through. Save, can he save himself here? Save, trying to move himself out, but no, the blast comes through and Malik does get the kill. And what was stolen? Rubik, he gets the shield. So Nightfall has to back himself away from this one of Morphlin. Not in this fight, so it was a 5 versus 3 to start off, as Nightfall was moving himself over, but Nightfall level 10, so has at least 1 point into the borrowed time. Not going to be under too much pressure with his Aphotic Shield, but does need to move himself away from these heroes.
Perfect timing for Navi, and also they still had that Tombstone stolen. Now Danielle has an Aphotic Shield. Aphotic Shield allows the Rubik to follow the storm into any kind of situation and get out alive or save his Storm Spirit. And this is going to be so big because Boom, they still need some time. We saw with the Bloodstone almost there, but the Abaddon didn't want to be a part of the fight. So the Lesh dies, and after that, the damage is just not dead. There, Boom's lineup, they need the Morph, they need the Lesh to be able to do the damage. But if Navi separate the fight like this and can get a kill on one of those heroes before the fight even starts, then this is going to be the result. So perfect for Navi, and we'll see if they can continue.
Yeah, Daniel with a little bit of a better, well, not a better, but just the extra push until there as well with the Aphotic Shield. Being able to push out the waves into the Fade Bolt. GPK, though, taking some damage from Marty. Marty coming in with the 4 points onto the Ignite. And we'll see if they want to go for rotation. It is going to be a smoke rotation here. I don't know if it was under vision. I don't think it was under that vision of the ward. That is just a really nice one, just to seize anyone moving into the mid lane. But 3 heroes moving around, at least Navi, they are going to be playing it defensively for the minute. Not sure where everyone is, but it just allows Toronto Tokyo to get the wards down, maybe setting up. They might even be able to get a jump in. The Storm Spirit is close, and yeah, you can see that Marty as well as Danielle playing it close to that tier 1 tower that the Radiant do still have in the mid lane.
Now he knows. I mean, they have such good vision there on the bottom part of the map. They have 2 wards and a hawk, so they know everything that's going around there, and they're just gonna walk into the Roche pit. They understand Boom are still not ready for a fight. They don't have the Radiance. They do have the Lincolns, but Abaddon is their main hero really for a fight. He's the one that's saving everyone, and without Radiant, he doesn't want to show because he's not really gonna be contributing in terms of damage, and you want your core to do something in terms of damage. So this is a perfect timing to just kill the Roshan. Shigetsu also, we haven't talked about him for a long time, but he did go for the Maelstrom, and considering that he's gonna have the buff for the Inner Beast and from the Bloodlust, there's gonna be a lot of lightnings coming out.
Yeah, it is going to be absolutely stormy in this game, and you can see this game stuff. He's got that Dragon Lance coming out now as well for the Weaver with the borrowed time, so that they do give Melduel over that Aegis. And at some point, I mean, the Minor Swarm coming out, he's only got the 1 point into the Swarm, but when that Swarm starts to stack up level 3, level 4, that is going to be that attack speed that stacks up onto Shigetsu. It's going to be incredibly deadly to the side of Betboom.
Yep, for sure, for sure. And also Storm Spirit, people tend to forget this hero. Most of his damage comes from right click, so him having added attack speed is great. If you remember the old Storm Spirit, when you didn't have to buy so many items for mana, people would go for a Maelstrom just because you get so many right clicks out, and with more attack speed it's gonna be even more. But Betboom, they want to go for a smoke.
Oh, Melduel. I mean, Melduel does have the Aegis, but he's going to be sandwiched between 3 heroes. They have the vision, though. If you get that split up off, they do. So they're going to be able to clear up at least the Aegis. But do they have this setup coming through for the second kill for Melduel? Does he just get the ball lining now away? Melduel, he's going to be able to get the ball lining up, but how far does he go? Pure. Well, even looking for the waveform for the chase down here now as well. Danielle, he's got that pick pull, but the chase might carry on coming from Toronto, Tokyo. Gets on top, sees Danielle, but there is going to be 4 heroes around here. But do they want to fight in this tombstone? It will be taken down so quickly. Toronto, Tokyo now needs to turn around. The Swarm comes out, but they're going to go for even more. Toronto, Tokyo, Spotted Shield on top of him, so he will be able to walk himself away from this one. Not a lot of damage onto Toronto, Tokyo that he's not going to be able to shrug off, but still, you're not within the bounds of wanting to fight, you know, chasing and maybe get the position wrong, so Navi can take that Toronto, Tokyo Undying down and then go for even more kills.
Navi are winning, Rob, and the reason they're winning is because Betboom cannot get close to the tower and start pushing. You're up against the Beastmaster, you're up against the Weaver Storm. They can split push, they can catch, and they're forcing you to defend your towers rather than go on the offensive. These lineups, like the Betboom one, when you have high damage dealers and you have defensive heroes behind them, you need to be on the aggressive, because if you are not, you're always kind of chasing your enemies, and they're not gonna give you a fight when there's 5 of you. That's why Navi has been able to steadily get ground over and over again in this game, and even with the Aegis being taken, it doesn't matter. The tier 2 has fallen pretty early in the game.
Yeah, and what can Betboom do to get themselves back in? I mean, Abaddon's got, what's he got coming out on the courier? Because he has nothing coming out on the courier. Okay, he's just stepping up the goal. Yeah, he has an ultimate orb. Dude,
He wants a Manta. There's no surprise there. You just want the illusion so that you can silence people to clear and easier.
Okay, well, Daniel on the back line, so I'm going to be stepping in. Telekinesis comes out. Toronto, Tokyo is going to be taken down. They just get the tombstone out now as well. Malady is going to be waiting for him from Pure. Pure, can he get the kill? He's going to be able to take down the support. And now the chase is on. Malik, can he get himself away from this one? Anything to close that gap? They have the disruption, but it looks like they're not going to be able to catch up. No force stabs just yet on the side of Betboom. Now Danielle, there is going to be the borrowed time coming through from Danielle. Did he steal it? He did. The Rubik gets that borrowed time just as it comes through, but it's still not going to be able to keep him alive. Danielle moving himself away, and the Shadow Poison would have been enough from save, even if he didn't get that right click off. And GPK, they only going to be going further and further forward now as well. Tumbler Stock from Pure. They get the stun to Malik. Malik, can he get himself onto the high ground? He does. And it looks like they might be able to go back towards that tier 1 tower. Only losing Toronto, Tokyo in that fight there. A really good one, and they just chase, took down both supports, and will be able to get the tier 1 tower from it as well.
That was a slight mistake from Navi, and Betboom immediately read it. That's why they TP'd everyone into the mid lane. When you want a lineup that fights 5 versus 5 in a concentrated area, mid lane is your friend. When you want to fight separated left and right, you want to fight in the big jungles or in the side lanes, right? That's just how it goes, because there's so much space in the mid lane. You're kind of clumped up, and Betboom, they really, even though they lost the kill at the start of the fight, they need to go in.
Melduel does jump in, gets that drag back, but Toronto, Tokyo once again, the save comes out from Nightfall with the Aphotic Shield. The ignites fly through, but we'll just be able to, again, like you said, just purge that one off, deal with that. And while this is going on, Morph, we didn't really talk about the itemization, but Morph didn't go in for the Manta, didn't go in for goes kind of actually went for the Lincolns into the Dragonlance. So Pure looking for that early protection. I guess onto the jump from the Vortex. You know, that drag back telekinesis save there as well. So just wants those single target spells to be nullified coming in if he do try and engage on the wall.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for an axe now. It is going to be interesting to see. I really like now how Bed Boom have been playing. The second they take down that mid lane tower, the game becomes easier for them because they can force Navi deeper onto their own side of the map, and then they can go for other objectives, and that's why they've opened up this bottom lane so easily.
Yeah, and it is, like say about it, he's got himself that ultimate orb, and he will want to go towards that Mad style. Just to proc quicker and quicker. GPK, how is he looking on the Lesh? He's got himself the Sanjin Kaya, picking that one up. Groko comes out for the Morph as well, so not going to turn his nose up as that. And Lesh, are you expecting here GPK to go towards the BKB? Because he wants that Boots of Travel. So is it the Boots into the BKB for the extra protection? He do get the kill into Toronto Tokyo here on the bottom lane.
I want the travels. I think you usually with a Lesh want to skip the BKB as much as you can, and considering that you have the Aphotic Shield, it kind of removes everything in this game. He might just feel like the BKB is completely unnecessary, right? Damage output of Navi, there's a ton of magical damage, but he can heal through it. If he has his guys behind him, he should be able to survive. So there's a good chance that GPK just completely skips on the BKB, unless he feels like, okay, I absolutely need it, my teammates cannot protect me. But if you get to that point as Bed Boom, then you probably feel like you've done a lot of things wrong before it. So you just want a fight that suits you, and then a BKB is not going to be necessary.
Yeah, I always forget the Aphotic Shield as well is a strong dispel. It's not just a dispel, it's, you know, one of the strong dispels. So one of the, you know, few things that can deal with the Primal Roar as well on that. And yeah, I mean, going back to Shigetsu as well, let's see what he's got. I mean, he's got the Maelstrom, he's got the BKB. Going towards a Skadi here for Shigetsu. So again, the extra stats are going to be nice. The regen nullifier up against GPK, just being able to limit how much he gets back from that Bloodstone will be quite nice as well. But how do you, if you're Navi now, like say, Bed Boom of course up in terms of kills, 10 to 10 in 23 minutes. You're looking at the next objectives. Roshan is going to probably be the next big one here. You already see the Beastmaster on the bottom lane pushing out, looking for that tier 1. But Navi, how do we try and fight around these next big objectives like the Roshan?
I think that bottom lane is actually their friend. Being able to push that one out as the Beastmaster, and with Bed Boom sending someone there to just make sure that it's pushed out, you use your vision to get into a better position of a fight. That's it. You need to use the Beastmaster as much as possible in terms of pushing out, and in terms of seeing people with your vision.
Well, Pure, he does get that shift onto the Ogre Magi, catches up with the waveform, Fire Blast comes through, he even gets the Bloodlust on himself. So look at the attack speed here for the Morphlin. He is just pumping out damage, and it looks like he actually wants to go towards the Butterfly and not that Aghanim Scepter as his next big item. And to be honest, he's not too far away, just needs another, what, 300 gold, and Pure will be now hitting like an absolute truck.
I think Shigetsu needs to rethink his Skadi and go for an MKB. You're not going to be able to hit him through the Radiance and the Butterfly. You need to have a way to kill him, and also you might need better damage. Considering you have a BKB, you should feel confident enough that you're going to be surviving for longer times in a fight. Yeah.
And again, the Weaver, one of the few heroes that has that survivability built into the ultimate, obviously with the time lapse, being able to get himself not once but twice in these fights, you know, the second life effectively with that ultimate coming through. So we'll see here if he changes his mind. He's already built up one of the ultimate orbs, so maybe goes in for the Skadi, then an MKB afterwards. But smoke coming up from the side of Navi, what can he do? There is a sentry down now as well, close to Shigetsu, so Shigetsu just going to be showing on the lane, taking down the creeps. They do get the courier. So it looks like Bed Boom starting to just group up on that Radiant high ground.
Not good for Navi. Definitely not good for Navi. The side lanes are pushed out completely, and this is, I think this is what Bed Boom were gunning for their illusions to be super strong, and they're just pushing out the side lanes, and Navi, they're in the mid lane, which means what? It means that there's gonna be a big fight around the mid lane, and that benefits Bed Boom. That definitely benefits them if it is not a spread out fight. So Navi, what they're now trying to do is kind of put out the flames by cutting the waves, and you have to do this, because if you're running into Navi or you walk into those, you're gonna be in trouble. But the thing is, Bed Boom are already in your base, so Navi will have to be the one to break the formation, to break the tactic first.
Yeah, you see the Nightfall getting the pull through on the creeps from the mid lane here as well. So the waveform comes out, and it looks like Betboom backing themselves away, just again playing around, because you were talking about compact areas to fight around. So having that Radiant triangle to fight around, it is still a really nice place to fight in. And it looks like Betboom with the smoke. Do they smoke around into the I mean, Roche is 30 seconds away. So if they take a fight here, that is a really big opening here for the side of Betboom.
They, with the move towards top, what they accomplished in the end, because Navi didn't really take the bait all that hard, is that they took down all divisions. So Navi has to go for this smoke, because right now, if you would just run into enemy vision, walk in there, you're gonna get crushed.
Yeah, and Weaver, how's he doing? He's still going to be about over 1,000 gold away here from having that Skadi up. It is a big item timer that you want coming into this next fight. But yeah, Roche will be respawning now. The big man is back in his cave, and we'll see the Toronto Tokyo going to be scouting it out. But is there going to be that Hawk vision to come across as well from the Beastmaster? Might even see that Shadow Poison as well. I think they see the effects here. So Malik on the back lines will be moving across here. Does he have that jump potential in? He's going to be disruption to start off this fight now as well. They get the lockdown onto the Rubik. The Rubik, he's going to be killed off. Shigetsu wants to chase, but there's going to be the waveform coming in now as well. And Malady, just look at Pure how quickly he rips through that Open Magi, and they can carry him going for more. Shigetsu trying to do what he can on the back lines. The buyback comes out from that Rubik, but even still, it looks like Betboom just go right back into that Roche pit. Shigetsu, does he want to try and chase into this? There is Senju's down, he's going to be doubled in store for it, but he doesn't get the Aegis. He is going to go the way of Pure, and now Shigetsu with that BKB's in, and there's going to be the rock out, but disruption, it keeps GPK alive for a little bit longer. What can he do? Can he get the kill onto him? And it looks like he might just eventually be able to get a kill, and Meljul just clean up, but Daniel, he's going to go down to Pure, and that is going to be the dieback there from the Rubik. And can they get any more? No, there's going to be the TPs away, but it's still going to be a well, it was a 2-for-1 because the Rubik goes down twice. Even Mali going down there as well. We bought back.
The thing is, both of the teams were prepared for this fight. But Betboom are dire. They have the outpost. When I say prepared, I mean there's a lot of buybacks ready. Yeah. But if you look at Betboom, they didn't use a single one. Whereas Navi, they use their buybacks. And then you also look at Navi, they use their BKBs, whereas Betboom, they don't really have BKBs. So overall, the fight overwhelmingly does favor the side of Betboom. And finally, they've been able to break the game in their favor. They're 6k gold ahead, which is a lead that none of the teams were even close at a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, you can see the Pure. He does want that BKB to come out eventually. After getting all of his, until the BKB looks like it's going to be that cherry on top. In fact, no, he's changed his mind. He actually wants to go for the Hex. So extra control, I suppose it does make sense. If you can get the Hex onto the Storm Spirit or onto the Weaver, these two hypermobile heroes that want to be in and out of fights, just being able to stop them from being able to disengage, it does mean that you can lock them down and potentially look for the kills. Set up for the Curse of Avernus as well from the Abaddon, and they are going to suffer if they do get Hex, as we see now. There might be another fight breaking out around the bottom part. Yeah, no, the drive back is actually going to go. He steals the form, and it looks like Meljul can get himself away from this one. Lincoln Sphere going to be broken. There's going to be the drive back here on to save. Is he going to be kept alive? He's not. He does go down. Meljul gets that kill. The roll comes out as well. Toronto Tokyo, he might go down, but not before dropping that tombstone. Shigetsu, he's trying to take it down, but what can he do? He's going to be again. There's still the vortex coming out from the Morphin here. Do they have enough to get the kill on? But Pure, he has that Aegis, so is he going to be surviving through this fight? He's still going. He's still there, even without that Aegis. It will eventually pop. This down onto the Beastmaster. What can he do though? I mean, Shigetsu, he's got that BKB going. Can he get himself away from this one now? With that Shikuchi out, it looks like they don't have the vision to get the lockdown. And well, they do pop an Aegis to take down both supports, but they lose that Beastmaster. And we'll see what Navi can do on the back of that. That wasn't a bad fight there for Navi. That was pretty good. And if they can replicate that a couple more times, they could be right back into this game.
Yeah, but it was actually a pretty decent fight. The problem is, of course, you got the Aegis down, and Betboom, they didn't lose all that much in the bottom part of the map. They just tried to see, okay, let's see if we can fight in an unfavorable situation with the Aegis. But the thing is, you can't. If you're not there to protect your supports, if one of your supports go down to the storm, it's gonna be an issue. And that gem being bought by Navi, given to Meljul, it's actually what won them the fight, because the Shadow Demon died only because the storm saw him through the Glimmer Cape. If he hadn't, we would have seen a completely different outcome.
Yeah. And Weaver is going to go back for the MKB as well. So yeah, he finished off that Guardian. That if he gets that off, well, the hexes have started to come out from the side of Bet Boom. GPK has his up already. We'll see if Pure still wants to go towards his because he's building the gold up for that. But yeah, the MKB coming out from Shigetsu, when that does come through, that's going to be a massive power spike for the Weaver. And the Morphin has to be very careful about his positioning up against this Weaver with the Swarm, the minus armor coming through there, with the damage, the attack speed coming through from the Weaver as well. It's, the Weaver is standing his ground in most of these fights.
Pure is still not the main target. The main targets are the Shadow Demon and the Undying, and the Storm and the Weaver are gonna have to be very coordinated there. So Shigetsu, not only is that MKB is at the end of the fight gonna help him deal with the Morphling, right? But at the start of the fight is that burst damage that he needs, and considering he has so much attack speed, I mean the procs are gonna be coming over and over again, so that's gonna be a ton of damage.
Yeah, and we've seen that. Oh, there's gonna be the smoke coming out here from the side of Bet Boom, looking for the. Actually, who can they go onto this? I mean, Shigetsu is away from the rest of his team. Does he go for a big wraparound here? Maybe looking towards back behind that tier 2 tower. Shigetsu, though, there's no vision to see the Weaver. I don't believe there's not. So it looks like it's just going to be guesswork here coming out from the side of Bet Boom.
They won't be able to find him that easily. He's out, and Navi are already in a smoke. And I like this. What Navi have lacked in this game and why they're behind is because they were a little bit slower. But this was a very fast smoke. This is one that can catch Bet Boom off guard. The thing is, when you have one of those, it usually doesn't. But when you have 3, 4, 5 of moves like this, then 1 or 2 of them work out, and you're actually not behind any longer.
Oh, they get the kill onto Shigetsu's curry, but it only has that TP scroll. So Shigetsu gets off a little bit lucky though, didn't lose any big items. And you can see the Abaddon's even got the Basher coming out, so that's going to be even more lockdown in these fights. Wants to go straight into the Abyssal Blade, so it is still going to be that effectively, what you would see on a pause one Abaddon, and Nightfall just feels so comfortable building into these items, and really 2, 0, and 10 never really been pressured throughout this game.
He has a Blink and a Basher. So if he blinks and bashes you, and he's gonna have an Abyssal very soon, he pops the Manta. Manta illusions, the stacks of Curse of Avernus, they go from illusions as well. So effectively, if you bash someone, you're gonna silence them 100% in less than a second with the illusions, and then you're gonna kill them. So anyone who doesn't have a BKB active is just gone, even on the core side.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do this. I mean, the illusions coming through from the Abaddon as well, just trying to pull these waves, and with the Radiance he can do this, keep these lanes, not even, skipping them, but keeping them pushed in, because the Beastmaster trying to do what he can. They take down that tier 2 tower in the bottom lane here as well with Beastmaster's aggression, and well, now they know the Beastmaster's away. Bet Boom, are they going to try and make something happen with this? It doesn't look like it. Just again protecting up this Radiant Triangle, looking to say, if you want to fight into this, it's narrow gaps and you've got to fight into us, and like you say, they want to take those compact fights. So it looks like Navi just doing what they can to play away, protect themselves and not taking a bad fight, not engaging on Bet Boom's terms.
But I'm not liking that Navi are not more out on the map. Let's say, okay, not a lot of heroes are showing. That is good from Bet Boom. But you still have a Beastmaster, so your vision is going to be quite nice. And you need to be able to send not only Shigetsu, but maybe even Melojule somewhere on the map. And then you have TPs ready. If there's any problems next to your base, you come back. But this way, it's only going to be the Weaver getting solid farm, maybe Storm inside of the base, but that's about it. Everyone else is going to stagnate.
Yeah, I mean, Weaver, how far away from this is he? Because he's got a lot of gold. He's still going to be about 300 gold away, I'd say, here from this MKB.
Quick match. I heard the calculations, like like a calculator there, and
the gears spinning in the head. Yeah. If I didn't have headphones on, you'd see the smoke coming out of my ears as well. But yeah, no, he's going to have the gold for the MKB coming up pretty soon. And once that comes out here, is that Navi's time to go? Because, I mean, Roshan could be at, 20 seconds minimum away here. Might be another 3 minutes, but it could be like a 20-second respawn. Is this when Navi used the Beastmaster vision to maybe try and scout onto Bet Boom and look for a pickup?
It's where they have to. Roche time is where they have to do it. I'd much rather they be trying a little bit more on the side. The thing is, now 35 minutes into the game, you have to be careful, because if you go for those solo plays, for those moves, one of them could cost you the game. And now I can understand their problems. The part of the game, yeah, he's gone.
He's just dead. There was no way he was getting away. Once Pure gets in with the wave form, takes that telekinesis for himself. There was no way he even, stacking up and doing the damage with the hexes coming through as well. Rubik was just straight up dead.
He's gone. Well, as I mentioned, the time of the game where you can go for low risk plays is over. Every play, 35 minutes in the game is a high risk play because you could buy back or you could die. Oh, there's the Abyssal Blade reveal.
But you get the silence off here, but it looks like Shigetsu was able to get the Sakuchi off before he did get silenced, able to walk himself away. But yeah, no, I mean, they're even going to see the Hawk. The Hawk gets dealt with here now. Well, Navi, they need to smoke into the pit, even though the tier 3 tower on the bottom lane is being pressured slightly by the double catapults, but that will be taken care of by the tower. And you can see there's the jumping from the storm turret now. They got no Nightfall. He's going to be the one to claim it now as well. They do get the kill. They take down the storm turret. And can they go for more? Pure's going to get down low. He eats that cheese though, so he's going to get full life back now. And Malik's caught in the pit, no way out, and nobody's looking to get out alive here on the side of Navi. The timelines to drag back in. Do they have the damage? They have the stuns. They have the lockdown. They take down all 3 cores on the side of Navi, and he had to time lapse to try and keep himself alive. But everybody just waiting in the pit. And Boom, they had that just great space in that great position, and he finally kills onto 4.
I think that they actually didn't have a chance with the buybacks. Boom, if they would use them, I don't know if the Pure would have it if he died, but overall, the second that the Aegis got taken by Nightfall, it was game over. And to be honest, he played so well because there was an Aghanim Scepter pull in, but he saw the Roach dying. He popped the Burrow time to get out of the stun, pick up the Aegis, and at that point, the fight ended. At that point, it was certain that Navi had absolutely no chances to win that fight, and with that, not even the game.
Yeah, and without the Weaver for the next 30 seconds, this is going to be, in fact, it might just be Magus. I thought they might go for the tier 4s, but it looks like they want to play it methodically here. Boom, just making sure they take every advantage. And yeah, they're looking straight towards this tier 3 tower, this last standing Rax. And Navi, what can they do to try and defend this? Because Nightfall, again, has that Aegis. He's just going to be the one that sits at the front and just whacking down these buildings.
They can't do anything. The Abaddon also has the Aghanim's blessing, so this guy just heals everyone.
Pure cleaning up, and yeah, I think that's going to be GG. The Storm's Break goes down. Yeah, they're going to be able to get a couple more kills before this game does finally end, but it's going to be Megas. Right now, effectively, Malik comes in with his BKB. Last man's damage. He gets doing a lot of damage here now as well. Nightfall's going to be out of mana, but again, as that Aegis will pop, and you can see that Pure takes out that last set of racks. Do they have a... They don't have wait, do they? I think Malik, he's going to go down next, yeah, and it's only because she gets left alive. And 1 versus 4. The buyback comes through from the Beastmaster, so they are making it, a point to make a stand here, Navi. But eventually, it looks like Pure's going to be able to do damage. GPK coming in now as well. BKB for Shigetsu. Maybe going to try and get the chase down onto GPK. Going to go from turnaround. Pure, what's he going to try and do? The Apothec Shield comes out. Now this is going to be the Hex. And yeah, with no BKB on the Weaver, the Weaver's just going to go down. And this should be game number 1, going the way of Boom.
And they have an Abaddon, which means that diving the fountain is easy. Yeah, look at Pure. He's actually surviving because Nightfall is healing him. He's not even the one taking damage with the Burrow time. But very nicely done by Boom. Overall, though, I have to praise Navi. They surprised me. They understood relatively well what their lineup needs to do. In the end, Boom